Hello, everybody. My name's Logan,
And my name's Lance.
and welcome to the drop. Let's get the drop on last night's shit show. Now, last night's game was a loss for the Blues because they played the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. That's the bad news. That's the bad news, though. The good news is Tarasenko is now a father. You're not gonna clap for Tarasenko?
Yay.
Good job, Tarasenko. Named him Alexander after the great Alexander Steen. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why, but he spelled it the Russian way because he's
Alexander
Russian.
is a very common Russian name.
That's very true. So congratulations, Tarasenko. We hope the cherry on top is the cover vote for the NHL 17 game. Anyways, back to the game. Wow. 4-0. Hey Blues, didn't you say you were gonna try to play different? Because after the game, Hitchcock said we tried to play. Sorry, the frames were dropping for a second. I didn't want our stream to drop out there. We had dropped 4 frames. Okay, seems to be good now. Didn't you say you were gonna play different? But then at the end, the press conference, Hitchcock said, "Well, we tried to play the same we did last time, and just didn't work out." And then he had the audacity to say, "We're lucky that the series is even tied right now." That is not a good attitude going into game 3 or 4 or any of the next games, because that's just admitting defeat. What do you feel about all this, Dad?
Well, what gets me is that after the game 1, he said that they played good. I
Yeah.
don't know how you can go back and say that they didn't.
Yeah.
Although I will say they're fortunate that they did get that win.
Yeah.
Because Elliott kept them in the game in that second period. I mean, if it wasn't for Elliott in that second period, the Blues would be down 2-0.
I do have to point out the Sharks played the exact same they did
Yeah.
in game 1.
Exact same style.
They were the exact same speed.
Yeah.
It's exactly what my dad said. He said, "I can't see the Sharks playing any better than they did in the first game."
They didn't.
And they didn't.
They
It's
didn't.
just we played like absolute dog garbage.
Yeah, and what
Dog
gets,
garbage.
What gets me is the Blues were 0 for 6 in the power play, or 0 for 5.
0 for 6.
0 for 6.
It was 0 for 6.
And
I was there.
here's the difference in the game. Yeah, San Jose scored what, 2 power play goals?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 2 power play goals.
Out of 5.
When San Jose gets into the Blues zone, the Blues go into the what I call it's like a pyramid,
Yeah.
zone defense. And they let San Jose pass the puck back and forth. And San Jose looks like they've actually had preset plays that they've practiced in
Oh
practice.
my God, dude. The sloppiest. Okay, I have to give the #1 award to the sloppiest play in the entire season. Not just post or pre, the whole season. The whole everything. This is the sloppiest I've seen them play. It looks like the 2011 and 12 Blues, or 2010 Blues. Just sloppy. Complete and utter sloppiness.
Yeah, and what worries me is, always remember this. Ken Hitchcock said after game 1, we're going to adjust things and we're going to play much better. We're going to come out and play well. Trust me, we're going to be much better.
And
Every
then they
time
lose.
he has said that in the playoffs, they have come back and laid an egg. So be careful. Next
Yeah.
time he says that, they're going to come back and lay it. The problem
Just
with
watch
me with
out.
this team, I love the Blues. I'm a big fan of the Blues. But I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to be unbiased because that's what we are here.
Exactly.
And they're just so
Just what
frustrating.
happened last
They're
night.
not consistent.
I have no idea
And
what
I-
actually happened. They did not look like the team that beat the Chicago Blackhawks and the Dallas Stars, the 2 top teams in the West.
I keep hearing, oh, the Blues thrive on adversity. Well, that
It
may
is true.
be.
It is true that when the last 2 times we were tied 1-1, we came back and won it in a game 7. But again, that's 2 game 7s that we had to go to. Almost didn't win it.
Yeah, and I cannot honestly say last night out of any period the Blues won the period.
No.
The Sharks played well the whole game, and the Sharks played a 60-minute game, and the Blues played a non-60-minute game. It's like they were
absolutely terrible. The
were
passing,
Disneyland.
everything was slop. I'm not. See, I wouldn't be this harsh if only a few things were sloppy, like their offense,
Yeah, or if
maybe
they lost
their
2-1
defense.
in overtime,
Exactly,
or-
that's what I'm saying. But the passing, terrible. The offensive plays, there were none. Absolutely none. I'm not kidding you. My dad didn't get to see the whole game. I got to see all of it and all of its crappy glory. Um, the offensive play was non-existent. Every single time they'd get it into the Sharks zone, the Sharks would either shut them down or they would just dump it in and then switch
Yeah.
the line.
And the Sharks would shoot it right back
The
out.
first goal that was scored in the first period was from the Sharks' fourth line. From the fourth line. I mean, that was not well. Actually, it might have been Elliott's fault because he could have easily got that. But
yeah, the thing
it's
about
still their fourth line.
The thing about Elliott that worries me, and the teams have it on him. Top glove side, he sucks.
Yep, I've pointed this out.
If you go back and look
times.
through the Dallas Stars series and the Blackhawks series, and now this series, everybody is beating him
Glove
high on the top glove side, and he's got to make some type of adjustments because it looks like he's in the right position and he's okay up to about his chest with the glove, but once it goes on that high side, they're scoring a bunch of goals against him, and he's a great goalie, but there needs to be an adjustment made.
I don't know if you saw this, Dad, but last night, Hitchcock's press conference, that, my friends, is the look of a defeated man. He looked so done with that night. Like, he just couldn't. He answered the least amount of questions he's done in a press conference the whole postseason. Yeah, it was a short
press conference.
They showed his press conference, and he answered 4 questions.
Yeah, I downloaded it for my radio show, which I'm going to do later, and it normally takes up about 10 inches on my software that I use to edit, and it took about 3 inches.
He answered 4 questions, and he got up and left. And I don't blame him, because the more questions you ask him,
the more pissed off
the more exactly, and the more he's going to get onto his players. Now, he said that the best coaching style he found out was to step back a bit. But I think it's time to get back in there. I think it's time to get back in there and fix what's wrong. Watch the tape and just fix what's wrong. And you will see in the highlights what's wrong. Just to let you know, I also think that Ott should not play in Game 3. No. Especially, I didn't think he should play Game 2 with what he did in Game 1. But of course, he came back in Game 2 and did the same old crap that he did, and got the Blues had to kill like 3 power plays, 2 power plays just off of Ott.
Yeah,
he should not be in Game 3 at all.
If he plays,
Reeves should be in Game 3.
If he because Reeves can disturb it just as good as him, and Reeves is younger.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's my thing: you dressed Reeves last night. Why didn't you? I mean, why
after
not use him more than Ott?
Drew like 3 power plays?
Yeah, after Ott did one, since he did the one in the first game, I'd and there's a lot of women out there that love Steve Ott because they think he's great, and I don't get it. He's marginal at best.
He's sexy.
He's old. Oh my goodness.
Just kidding.
He's older. He's not the Steve Ott from 6 years ago. He's just not.
Instead of wasting all of our time talking about it without showing you guys any proof, let's go ahead and get into this what I can only describe as a crap shoot. Crap shoot. Let's go ahead and get into it. Too bad Tarasenko couldn't get a win the day his baby was born. So here it comes. Perfect chance by Tarasenko, but Jones was just a little bit faster. Also, Tarasenko just shot it right at him. He didn't really try to... that obviously wasn't going to go through, but first 17 minutes left, and boom. That, I think Elliott should have stopped. On their 4th line, 2 minutes and 7 seconds in. Yeah. Yeah, there was literally no one in front of him, Dad. No one.
No.
He should have easily been able to stop that. Especially 4th line. Come on. Tarasenko, Steen, Shattenkirk, almost. Oh.
Yeah, but the Blues are shooting right. I know the Blues are all about rebounds.
Okay, you see this happening right now where the Blues are actually in their zone trying to get shots on goal? This is the last time you will see this happen. Ever. They'll get a few breakaways, but nothing to come of it. Of course, there was so many power plays, but obviously none of them came to fruition. They just looked... They looked beat. They looked like they were just done with the whole game of hockey. And it really depressed the crap out of me. Yep, and when Steen get from a new stick, and boom. 2-0 Sharks.
There's his stick right there. Why
Yeah.
didn't he just pick up his stick?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
There's a stick. Why didn't he just pick the damn thing up?
Now, at this point, the Blues are not feeling the best because the Sharks are a completely different team than they faced in the first 2 rounds. They're so good at passing and defense that, oh,
Yeah,
terrible.
they did have that one off the goalpost, but they did not play very well.
No. See, what you guys are seeing right now are they touched up. The only chances they ever got were what you're seeing right now. Every single highlight is the only highlight. They didn't cut any highlights out. This is the only thing you get to see. Crazy. Moving on to the third period, 2-0. San Jose gets another freaking power play. I mean, we had more power plays than they did, and Burns scored. But none of them.
Watch, glove side.
Boom. And you don't see that. In this whole game, there was never a pass and shoot. It was always a shoot. And it wasn't very strong. I think Tarasenko himself tried to shoot on goal, and it looked like he was passing it to the goalie. To be honest. Oh, almost. The lights came on, but nope. It hit off the post. And a penalty coming up on the Sharks.
And there's a lot of people
Look at
that may
that.
watch
Oh.
this that may say, hey, the Blues were close to 2 goals. And they were with 2 posts.
Look at that.
But
Scared
they
the
did
crap
play
out of
well.
that kid. Holy crap. Brouwer is not happy, and I wouldn't be either. They what you're not seeing is the Blues actually emptied their net with 4 minutes to go, and they had a 6-on-3. 6-on-3.
20 some odd seconds.
6-on-3 for 20 seconds, and they did not get one shot on goal in that whole 20 seconds. And boom. And that's pretty much it. And the Sharks even up the Western Conference Final 1-1, and that's the second shutout for Jones in this whole series. So let's look at this real quick. Series tied 1-1. But to be honest, so is Tampa Bay and Penguins. So we're not doing too bad, even though this is the worst I've seen the Blues play ever in my entire freaking life.
That's how bad they played.
Yeah. Remember when I was saying if you have to show shots on goal, you played bad. But look at the shots on goal, though. 24-26. There's something off about that. Power plays, there were a lot of penalties called on both sides. A lot.
11 penalties.
Face-offs, we got the face-off. I don't see... Okay, so you go ahead and start with the San Jose Sharks, and I'll go with the Blues.
All right, the Sharks won 4-0. Wingels got his second goal of the series. Burns had 2 power play goals, his 6th of the playoffs. Zubris got an empty net goal, his 1st of the playoffs. Logan Couture got 2 assists, and Pavelski had an assist, and Jones made 26 saves.
Out of
so
26.
the shutout for Jones.
Now, my dad was saying about this. Do you want to elaborate more on Burns and how you said that we should have figured him out?
Well, when I said at before the series started,
Yep.
that Burns was going to be the key. If the Blues shut him down in most games, they would win, and they didn't shut him down last night.
Nope.
Because
Exactly.
here's what Burns is. He's a hybrid.
Yeah.
He
is a weird fella.
Well, but here's
On the
thing.
ice and off the ice.
Yeah,
He is a weird fella.
Before he played for the Sharks, he played for the Minnesota Wild, where he was a forward.
Yep.
So he plays like a forward defenseman. So he knows when to shoot, when not to shoot, and is great at one timers, and it's got a good
yeah.
wrist shot. And the Blues, it's like they're paying attention to him, but they're not
But-
paying a lot of attention to him. They didn't do as well against him last night that they did in Game 1.
Yeah. Now going on to the Blues side, you've already seen it, but Tarasenko, 6 shots on goal. I mean, good on you. You're a new dad. Great. You can tell your son when he's older that the day he was born, you went and lost terribly with the worst plays you've ever played. Great. Not you specifically, your team. I think you actually played better than everyone else. If I had to give the star to anyone, it would be Tarasenko, and no one else gets a star. None of you people get a star.
Shattenkirk played terrible.
Yeah, everybody played terrible. Besides, Tarasenko played just a tad bit less crappy than everyone else, so he gets the star. So Tarasenko 6 shots on goal, Shattenkirk 4 shots on goal, and Schwartz 2 shots on goal. I mean, I've actually never seen just shots on goal down the map. That just shows you how terrible they've been playing. So we want to know what you guys think. We saw a lot of people on Twitter really giving it to the Blues, and we just had to give our 2 cents in on the matter because I was way mad than I was. Basically, last night I was super mad. Now I'm kind of making fun of it, but
I'll put it this way: I didn't get to see the whole game live, like Logan said. When I walked in during the game, I could tell it was bad because I'd never seen Logan in such a bad mood. And just after watching a couple minutes, I could tell why he was in a bad mood.
So bad.
The thing about the Blues are they need to be consistent, and whether consistency comes from the players, policing themselves and calling people out, or whether it comes from Ken Hitchcock, calling the players out and telling who's not playing well. If we don't see a better team in Game 3, I'm really concerned.
I'm really concerned.
If they play like they did last night, and like Logan said, it looked like the Blues probably played well because of all the shots they showed, but that's about it. There wasn't a sustained push.
Nope.
They didn't. When they were in the zone, it wasn't for very long. When they were on the power play, it looked like the Sharks had 8 players out there and the Blues only had 4. The Blues it's like there's an extra player. If you have 2 players on you and you're in a power play, there's somebody open. You should be able to get to that puck.
Yeah. Now, I will say one thing. Now, you could say that the Blues have done this before in the past where they would be on for one game and then off for another. And I think that's Hitchcock's way of kind of like resting up their players. You could say that. However, even when they were off one game and on another game where they were kind of like not playing their best on purpose, they have never played this bad. This just looked like a complete flop. Like they weren't even trying. It looked like okay, you know what it looked like? It looked like the Blues had been on the road in the regular season for like 2 weeks, and this was like their last game, and it didn't really matter if they won or lost because they're still going to the Stanley Cup. That's what this game is like, and that is a terrible attitude to have. But they will get a day's break, well deserved, by the way, because I mean I would not want to feel what those players are feeling right now. And then they'll be back at it watching the videos, trying to fix what went wrong in Game 2. And we'll be there to cover that. Tomorrow is what, the 19th?
Yeah.
So tomorrow is the 19th, and we'll be here on Friday to give you that game.
The whole thing about it is that the only thing positive you can look forward to maybe is because the Blues have actually played better on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you can look forward to right now.
Which is kind of shocking. But what another question?
Hold on, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's shocking because of the fact how great the Blues fans are. Because when they're cheering, the whole place is up and woo. Even when they were losing 3-0 in the final third period, they were still honking their horn saying, "Let's go Blues." It's surprising to me with that sort of fan base that you do terrible at home, but when you're away having people scream at you, "You suck. Go home. You do great." I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. One question I'd ask Logan was, earlier today is Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay are tied 1-1, but Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay between Game 1 and Game 2 had basically almost 3 days off. But the Blues in this series are having 2 days. I don't understand the scheduling.
I don't either.
Unless they're trying to give the Eastern Conference more rest or something. I just don't understand the NHL scheduling the way they do things. At least there's no more of these 8:42 games, 9:42 Eastern that they had during the first 2 rounds, which were totally stupid. And I understand it in a way, that they don't want games overlapping, but another way it's pretty bad. But let's just hope the Blues can come back and play good on the road like they have played in the past 2 playoffs.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, this is going to be a shorter series than most people thought it was going to be.
Yeah. A lot of people, even the people in NHL NBC, and you know how biased those people can get, even they were saying, I'd be surprised with a shutout 5-0, 6-0. We were expecting this whole series to be very close like it was in game one, where we were just running out the clock before we won. But this worries me, and for good reason. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say on the subject of game number 2 in round 3 against the San Jose Sharks. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, we are at 80 subscribers. 80. Holy mother of monkey meat, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'm pretty sure all of you have came from this guy's podcast version of this show, where he goes more into depth about the press conferences, the player reactions, and his more in-depth thought of it. So if you guys want to check that out, you go on Stitcher. It's on Shout Engine and on iTunes. All you have to do is search St. Louis Blues, the Drop Podcast. Make sure it is the one that has more than 2 episodes. If you see the Drop Podcast, it only has 2. That's not the right one. You're on the wrong one. So, anyways, guys, if you haven't already, follow us on our social media accounts such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. With Twitter, we go live pretty much whenever the Blues play. We have a live feed of our live reactions to the game, whether it be good or bad. So follow us there. It's at official the drop. So follow us there if you haven't already. But yeah, as I said before, guys, we will be here on Friday, the 20th. Somewhere
Hopefully we'll
around,
be talking about a Blues win.
hopefully. Now today we had it a little bit earlier. Usually we have it around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We have it about 6 Eastern.
6 or 5. But today we had to do a little bit early because I'm going to a graduation thing. So I'm graduating high school pretty much. And it only took me to the age of 20. Good job, Logan. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Logan. He can't say his name.
And I've been Lance, the proud dad of a 6-year high school student.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't because he's stupid. It just
it's just
let's
it's
not
just
get
timing.
into it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Yes, we will.
Bye.